Bulgaria's economy has been following the overall trend in the EU economy, which was of relatively rapid growth before the crisis and then a very slow and painful recovery, which in the case of the overall European Union has been a W-shaped recovery because last year, 2012, was again a year of recession. Bulgaria stands relatively better in comparison to the EU average, but still the economic growth of about 1%, slightly above 1%, and last year of 0.8 is far insufficient to raise living standards, to raise the overall GDP per capita and the overall welfare of the country. So what official institutions expect for 2013 is another year of more or less economic stagnation for Bulgaria, an economic growth in the order of 1.5 on average. Of course, official institutions are traditionally more optimistic in their forecasts. Our own forecast at the Institute for Market Economics is a bit less optimistic. Our expectations are that economic growth will again not exceed 1% in 2013. The Eurozone will have negative growth this year, and the wider EU will have 0.1 economic growth, which is more or less stagnation. So the longer-term prospects for Europe are not bright either. We believe that the debt overhang will continue to drag on economic growth in the medium to longer term. What we will be seeing this year is most likely another year of negative growth in the peripheral countries, which are the most debt-ridden countries. The highest growth rates are expected in the Baltic countries, which is of no surprise if we see their development in the past few years. The Balkans are one of the good exceptions. There, the economic growth this year is expected to be in the order of 2.5%. Turkey stands out as a relatively fast performer with about 3%. How this will impact on Bulgaria? Unfortunately, the political instability and the political crisis which we are currently in will affect the overall investment and business climate in the next at least 2 to 3 months. We are already seeing reports of some investment projects being postponed, not cancelled, but at least frozen. In terms of exports, which have been basically the driver of economic recovery after the crisis year of 2009, what can be expected for 2013 is that most likely we will again see stagnation or a single-digit growth rate. The main issue here is that the key so-called third non-EU export markets are expected to slow down this year. Turkey is one example. China most likely too, even if according to official forecast China will record more or less the same growth rate as in 2012, but according to some independent analysts, China could be the bad surprise this year. So we should keep an eye on developments in those two countries. In fact, in 2012, Bulgaria managed to double its exports to China, and this was one of the reasons for Bulgaria's export growth this year. So China is one of the prospective good markets for Bulgarian exports. What can be said about investment is that in 2012 it already reached its bottom, and there were some hopes that it is starting to bottom out in the middle of the year, but unfortunately the data for the last quarter of 2012 showed that it dipped again, it showed negative growth again, so we are still away from a serious, notable recovery of investment, and we believe that it could show positive and consistent growth only with the help of renewal of FDI inflows. Before that, we will be seeing only slight positive increases or just hesitation around the zero of investment growth. Inflation, it will remain subdued around 2-3% because of the overall depressed consumption, as I said, and very slow consumption growth, which we expect. The main pro-inflationary risk factors remain fuel prices, of course, and agriculture, which are always hard to predict. The key challenges which we believe will be faced by Bulgarian companies, in the first place, the uncertain political environment, which will be highly dependent on the outcome of elections. The economic environment is also quite uncertain, mainly because of the global conjuncture. If there is a positive change in the economic environment, it will most likely happen from the mid-year onwards.